So I wanted to try a little bit of a different style of Bitcoin video, instead of more of like the hype and trying to capitalize on like the trending news stories and what's going on. I wanted to just have more of a authentic, kind of personal conversation about it, and personally how it's impacted me and how I think this technology can impact other people for good. So for me personally, I think before Bitcoin, I feel like I was just more angry at the world. Like, I recognized there was a lot of issues in the way our systems are built and how they exploit people. And I just didn't have anywhere good to direct that energy. There wasn't like a clear solution. And I think since discovering Bitcoin, I feel a lot more hopeful about where things can go and about how this technology can help people. And the reason is not that I think Bitcoin is going to solve all the world's problems overnight, but it does solve a lot of issues in our day-to-day lives. And I think the main issue is the depreciating value of the money that we store our time and energy in, right? Like the money that we hold loses its value. So money should be an abstraction of your time and energy. If you don't have a good way to store your time and energy, then your time and energy is being stolen from you as the supply of the money increases. Since learning about Bitcoin and doing the hundreds to thousands of hours of research and learning about it, how it works, and the motivations behind why it was created, I've just had a much, more positive outlook, I feel like, and way to direct. And I think the way it will be successful is if we can spread Bitcoin education as far as possible. And so I think the first step in understanding Bitcoin is understanding money. Understanding and asking yourself the question, what is money? What makes a good money? What makes a sound money? And what makes a poor money? I think that's the first step, and I think that's a question that a lot of people aren't asking themselves. They're asking themselves, how can I acquire more money? Which is fair, like that's the time we live in, but they're not asking themselves the question, what is money? And people see Bitcoin as this speculative thing that you're buying in hopes that the value is going to go up in the future. But the reality is Bitcoin is money. Bitcoin is monetary protocol. Bitcoin is sound monetary protocol. That's what it is. And by buying it, you're not speculating that you're going to make a ton of money. You're not speculating that you're going to sell it for a profit and more dollars. You are buying it you are adopting a new monetary network before 99% of people wake up to what it is and its value and why it has value. So I think that's just the most important distinction. It's not a stock. You're not buying and selling it in hopes of a profit. You are adopting a monetary network that has a finite supply. And by buying a Bitcoin, you are buying 1 or, a percent of a Bitcoin out of the 21 million Bitcoin that will exist between now and the end of time, right? Bitcoin was created to be a monetary protocol that can last longer than a fiat currency like the dollar, which is reliant on the US government to uphold the strength and the value of the dollar. Bitcoin relies on code, it relies on scarcity, it relies on decentralization, it relies on sound money properties to maintain its value. So it's a monetary protocol that's completely peer-to-peer that has the potential to last thousands and thousands of years. So if you think of what a finite piece of a monetary protocol could be worth hundreds to thousands of years from now, that's kind of like the mindset shift you need to have with Bitcoin to fully understand it. So let me know if you enjoy this type of video. I think for me it feels a little bit more authentic. I'm just like having a conversation with someone, just how I would try to explain it to someone else if I was just having a peer-to-peer conversation about it. So yeah, it just feels good to just be authentic and have a conversation rather than trying to capitalize on hype. So yeah, if you enjoyed this type of content, leave a like, comment down down below any questions you have. I'd love to answer them more in depth in a future video. So yeah, and then the reason this is called Work Save Bitcoin is because I want to provide education. I want to change the narrative from Bitcoin being this speculative thing to being a savings technology, right? That's what it is. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.